Ciao Fabri, welcome back in our
Ciao, guys.
podcast. Today we speak about Manchester United because there is a completely different feeling right now with a new manager, of course, Michael Carrick. Also, what do you think the situation on him, and what do you think is the feeling also around the new coach?
Yeah, it's a fantastic feeling. The results are speaking for themselves, for the excellent work of Michael Carrick, but it's in general a different feeling at Manchester United. Something like, okay, we decided to stay with the same squad, not to sign any player in January, and Man United had the opportunity to maybe sign some last-minute opportunity player in the final days of the window. I told you here on the podcast about NDD offer to Man United and several opportunities on loan. United decided to stay with the same squad, to trust the manager, to be very compact all together, to start building on this work done by Michael Carrick and the staff. And so it's a very positive feeling. Again, winning games, but it's also about the dressing room. It's also about the daily work he's been doing in training with this group. And so a very, very positive feeling around Michael Carrick. Was not easy at all. Remember that he started with the Manchester Derby, with Arsenal, and then now obviously the recent wins, but in general doing a very good job on every single play.
Now the question is, what's next, basically? So what do you think about his future? Does he have a chance to stay in charge of the club even beyond the summer?
Yeah, I think there are two different ways at this stage. On one side, Manchester United respect and appreciate, of course, the excellent work of Michael Carrick. So they hope he's going to continue like this, of course. So this is the hope of everyone in Manchester United. And in that case, he would have the possibility to stay a permanent manager. Then on the other way, at the same time, Manchester United are not stopping the internal process to understand who is the ideal candidate to lead the Manchester United project in the upcoming years. So basically what's happening is that they are really appreciating Carrick. At the same time, internally, because at the moment there are still no meetings with other managers, no meetings with representatives of other managers, it's still early. But I think in the next weeks, for sure, Manchester United will start to keep discussing internally and deciding where they want to go. Obviously, this could take up to months, especially if Michael Carrick continues this excellent job, because he will have a chance, he will have an opportunity. But Man United internally maintain the discussion active to understand who is the ideal candidate for the job.
So you already said that it will be a busy summer for Manchester United. We know about the future of Casemiro, but what about the future of another key player such as Harry Maguire?
Yeah, the situation of Harry Maguire is different, because in the case of Casemiro, it's already decided, it's already official. He already said goodbye for the future. So this is the last dance, a few months for Casemiro at Man United, doing very well also in the recent weeks. For Harry Maguire, there is no option into his contract. So at the moment, he's potentially a free agent. He can sign with any club if he wants. Let me say that Harry Maguire is maintaining his full focus on Man United. He had the opportunity to go to Italy in the January window. Man United and the player didn't want to proceed. Now what's going to happen is that there will be talks to understand the situation. On the technical point of view, Manchester United are very happy with Maguire. Then there is the financial aspect, and we have to see, because obviously the current contract of Harry Maguire is still on a very, very big salary, and Man United are going on a different direction. So let's see what's going to happen there. At the moment, we are not yet in the position to say that Harry Maguire is 100% staying at Man United, because it's a very open story.
Do you think there is also another player under the radar that can potentially leave the club in the summer?
Yeah, one I would mention is probably Manuel Ugarte. For Manuel Ugarte, since Michael Carrick arrived, the space has been limited. Kobbie Mainoo started playing a lot, and so I think the Ugarte situation in the summer with a good proposal could be reviewed, and there could be the opportunity for him to go. There was already interest from Italy, interest from Galatasaray in the recent weeks, but nothing happened. I think in the summer transfer window could be one to watch, Manuel Ugarte. And then let's see what's going to happen with Zirkzee, because obviously for Zirkzee there was a lot of interest from Italy in this January window. Roma, Juventus, several clubs calling. At the end, he ended up staying at Manchester United. But I think in the summer, some clubs will return and try to understand the situation of Zirkzee, especially from Serie A.
Talking about another striker, Rasmus Hojlund, what do you think is expectation around his future?
Yeah, the situation of Hojlund in this case is seen as Manchester United as something already almost guaranteed. Unless there is something crazy happening, Man United expect to receive 44 million euros from Napoli for Rasmus Hojlund, with an obligation to buy, but also they believe that Rasmus Hojlund already feels as a Napoli player on a permanent transfer. And so the feeling is that this money will arrive. Don't forget that Man United already received 6 million euros as loan fee, so it will be a total package of 50 million euros. Really important financially to help Man United also to reinvest in the summer transfer window. Hojlund already agreed every single term of his contract at Napoli. It's already signed, so it's just club to club. But the feeling at Man United is that the obligation will be triggered, and that Rasmus Hojlund is not going to be part of Manchester United project anymore.
Another striker, in this case, we talk about Marcus Rashford. We know about his deal with Barcelona. Also, we know also about the situation of Barcelona that is evolving a lot and can evolve a lot in the next weeks. What do you think can be his future?
In this case, it's really depending on what Barcelona can do and want to do financially, because in terms of technical decision, Barcelona are very happy with Rashford. And so they would like to continue with him. They would love to continue beyond this season. He's on a straight loan, not straight, but with a buy option. But at the moment, still no decision has been made on the buy option. So he's on loan to Barcelona. And the buy option, 30 million euros, is valid until the summer. So Barca have time to decide how they can proceed. What happened so far is that Barcelona communicated to the player agent, to his brother and to his camp, that they would be more than happy to continue with Rashford. And the feedback was very positive. Marcus Rashford is very happy at Barcelona, as a club, as a city, as a group of players. So the feeling is very good. Now it's going to depend on the financial part. And it's about the 30 million euros with Manchester United, because the buy option is 30, and also the salary. Because don't forget that Marcus Rashford already decided to forgive a lot of money in terms of salary last summer to join Barcelona from Manchester United. Now, eventually, Barca should agree on terms with Marcus Rashford, and it's an important salary. So let's see on the financial point of view what Barcelona decide to do in the summer, but on the technical point of view, the feeling is that Barca want to continue with Rashford.
A player that we'll mention a lot in the coming weeks and months will be Sandro Tonali, I'm sure. And there were also a lot of links with Manchester United in the last couple of days. What do you say about these rumors?
Yeah, there have been some internal discussions about midfielders in Manchester United, and I think it's going to be very busy in midfield, as I already said several times also here on our Main Blazers podcast. I feel that Manchester United will be really busy with midfielders because Casemiro is leaving, because I said about Ugarte, who could also be on his way out in case of good proposal. So there will be movements at Manchester United in midfield, and it could be one or two players. Sandro Tonali is appreciated, that's for sure, but not just by Manchester United. He's also in the short list at Arsenal, he's in the short list at several clubs. So it's going to be an interesting summer for Sandro Tonali. Juventus dream of Tonali as the ideal player to add to their midfield, but it's going to be very expensive, not easy financially. So let's see what's going to happen there. What I can tell you is that around end of March, April, Sandro Tonali representatives and Newcastle will have conversations to understand the Newcastle position, player position. I think there is a chance in the summer Sandro Tonali could get his move, but this depends also on Newcastle. For sure, interest from United, yes, but he's not the only player. I think Manchester United will be very busy with several midfielders, and let's see who they decide is going to be their top target. At the moment on Tonali, appreciation yes, but it's not something guaranteed. I would maintain the name of Elliot Henderson because he's doing fantastic at Nottingham Forest. There are several clubs interested. Baleba was one of the favorites with Ruben Amorim as a manager. Let's see what's going to happen next. Of course, the manager situation is also going to impact the targets for Man United.
Moving away from the midfielders, what kind of players you think Man United will go and will look for in the summer?
I think there could be movements also in other positions, maybe up front in case of good opportunity. They could add one more player. Let's see what happens with zirkzee, as I mentioned. So there is also a chance Man United can do something up front. And then in the back, I think it's going to depend on Harry Maguire. If Maguire leaves the club, probably Man United could add one more defender in the summer transfer window. They were never hijacking the deal for Jeremy Jacquet. There were some reports when Liverpool signed the player from Rennes in the final days of the summer transfer window. But no, this was never going to happen. I think what is going to happen is that Manchester United will check on defenders in the summer, will consider some eventual opportunities depending on what happens with Harry Maguire.
Last one for today is about Bruno Fernandes. You were really clear about the rumors on Bruno Fernandes and Real Madrid last week. What do you think about the future of Bruno Fernandes regardless of these rumors?
I think that is going to be interesting because obviously now the moment is fantastic for Bruno. 200 goal contributions reached at Manchester United. Fantastic impact once again also with a new manager like Michael Carrick. And there is a very good connection between Carrick and Bruno. So on a personal point of view and also captain, manager, very good connection. Then obviously, I think from Saudi, as I already said, they will be back for Bruno, because they've been always interested in Bruno. In the last 3 summer transfer windows, they've always been trying to sign Bruno Fernandes, and they said no. At the moment, I keep telling you, Bruno is fully focused on United. Reports of Bruno offering himself to Real Madrid were completely fake. So the focus is on Manchester United. Then we have to see in the summer if from Saudi they return and they try to tempt Bruno. We have to see what's going to happen. But at the moment, the player is completely focused on Man United. Then, if you want my prediction, I think from Saudi they will try again. And in that case, it's going to be again on Bruno Fernandes.
Thank you for that, Fabri. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. See you soon.